Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Friday market webcast. All right, daily chart, and we talked about this yesterday. You hold the middle band, you make a little, half-ass attempt at it there, and you're kind of triangulating, and you break out of the triangle. During the course of the day, we retested 66 high, held it as support, and then got up over 5,100. And we kind of been dancing with that round number 5,100 since yesterday afternoon, which, is expected. So the high of the moment is 5107.75. You can see that it's engaged the upper band on the daily chart, and we've engaged the upper band in Globex. So now you've got a band ride. We'll see how long that lasts. The bands were not compressed to begin with. They haven't really been compressed since back on January the 15th. So we'll see what kind of legs this has. What you're going to see from the Bollinger Bands is you're going to see them expand. It's going to be tough come Monday or Tuesday for the bears to maintain the band ride because the bands are just going to expand really past anything short of a complete melt up is not going to be able to keep up with the band. So I think this is going to be much more of a drip, drip, drip to the upside rally, which is kind of what we saw yesterday after it got done with the initial ramp off the open. Hourly chart. So here's your 9 a.m. candle, okay? So they take it down barely, they jam it, and then they just kind of, and I know this looks pretty violent, but it's really not. It's just it was kind of a steady move to the upside. We tried a short. We got out of the longs from Thursday, and we tried a short in the 70, where were we here? Right around the open. And then we tried one in the 76 area, and it just got rejected so hard so fast that we ended up long 64 for a move, and we're currently long 79 with a runner. It wasn't a huge day yesterday, but it was the overnight trade took care of a lot of it. That was a 55 handle trade. The point I'm trying to make is I'm not expecting gigantic volatility today. I think it's going to kind of start to. We're in blue sky. We're at a round number. It's pushed up beyond the 20-day, the 9-day weekly pivot. All of it made the higher high, confirmed the old highest support, and now it has to decide whether it's comfortable trading above or below 5,100. I'm not sure that's a question that gets answered today. As we get into Monday, Tuesday, then you're going to see the 9-day start to creep higher, and I would expect that at some point in the next 4 to 6 sessions, we're going to see whether they're serious about filling the gap that was created yesterday. It's a big gap, and I don't talk about gaps very often. I talk about gaps about as often as there's the Summer Olympics, like once every 4 years or so. I will say out loud here that I really think this gap, and I'll show it to you. I really think this gap probably gets filled in the next week or so, but okay, this is the daily chart. Just set for the regular session. I think this gap does get filled at some point, probably pretty soon. But before all you perma-short ding-dongs get all excited, this was a big gap too. It got filled. They brought it in. There's no reason to think why that comes in for a couple of days. We fill this gap. Then if you make a higher high, that's going to be your spring. That's going to be your leg to the upside. So if we do go down and fill the gap, the bears can't run out of gas there, and it's a long way down. And to expect them to have fresh fuel after they fill the gap, unless you have some piece of news that's going to fuel that move, that's probably all she wrote for any kind of a retracement. And I don't usually speak in these terms, but I do get the feeling, especially when we're up at all-time highs, I always get the feeling that people are just throwing darts at highs and planting their flag and declaring what the market should do to Price doesn't care. It doesn't give a shit what you think, or I think, or what anybody thinks. Right now, price is heading higher. I'm talking about this gap because I think both sides need to be aware of what's sitting out there. So if you see a hesitancy to continue the blue sky move, I think that plays into it a little bit. I think once you get a little momentum to the downside, there's no reason why anybody that seriously puts money to work doesn't say, okay, have your fun, fill the gap, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put more money to work in, A, B, C, and D and drive the index back higher. Just be aware of the dynamics. Don't get so micro-focused on your agenda or your 1 minute chart that you lose sight of what's going on around you, okay? This, in my opinion, is probably going to get dealt with. Not all gaps fill. This one didn't, but that's the roll. Sometimes the roll gaps don't fill. Natural gaps, though, typically do, kind of like this one. And we got another one here. So we'll talk about gaps again in another 4 years. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. What's happening right now is we're just in this triangle around 5,100. You got volume weighted average price 50.98, hourly mid-band 50.98, proprietary moving average 50.98. So there's a little bit of a theme here, okay? I'm not ready to go out and say that the 5,100 area is a bull bear line. I don't believe in the shorts that much just yet. We'll see how it plays out during the course of the day. What I am thinking is more probable of an outcome is we carve up some kind of small trading range, and with where we're sitting in the week and the month, we probably just put out a no trade zone and start thinking about next week. We're not going to trade anything today, and I don't think you should either, that doesn't want to be traded. Don't trade anything that doesn't want to be traded. You're going to make it very exciting just for yourself, and you're not going to make any money. And you're going to make your broker very happy because you're just going to churn commission. So be very careful of that dynamic today. All right, that's all I got. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Safe, healthy, take care. Trade them well. I'll talk to you Monday. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princetontrader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade them well.